It's Kringle time. Sit back and relax as we dive into a world of laughter and learning with the Kringle brothers, reminding us that we are better together.
Hey,
Together.
welcome to Kringle Time. I'm
Hello,
your I'm your
everyone.
host, Michael Howe.
Yeah, and I'm Herbie. I was just reading. I was reading from Santa Nick C. Hi guys, is this also on Facebook Live? Yes, you
Yes,
can find us on Facebook Live. It's really easy. Hello, Chris Skillings and Alan
and
from
Alan and
Virginia.
Bill is on.
Bill, oh my goodness, we have such a great group right now. It's so much fun.
So we just
I'm
got
trying to
back.
also looking at posts coming in from Facebook as well. So we had a busy week, haven't we?
Yes, we just got back from the Jingle Joy retreat at Rooftop Landing Reindeer Farm.
And it was so much fun. Those baby reindeer are the cutest.
Yes. Oh, I love the pictures I got with them. I posted them. They're just absolutely adorable.
I
So
think I
fun.
think I think Bean really took a liking to you.
I think so too. It
And he
might have
was
been the relationship with the alpacas that I had.
no what is that the males or the females?
It doesn't matter because I thought I made that joke up. I was just having so much fun. I was beating that joke. If an alpaca has a child, is it an alpaca and the grandchildren are alpacas? You know what I mean? All right, it's an alphabet joke.
I think they should be impalas.
You know,
But
but I
anyway,
finally realized after pondering all of that alphabet stuff, I realized something.
what's that?
I only know 25 letters. And I
You
thought
only know
about it.
25 letters?
Yeah, only 25. And I thought about it and I thought about it. And
Wait
I
a
just
minute. We
I
got 26 though, don't we?
well, I just thought about the 25, the letters that I do know, and I just realized that I just don't know why.
Oh my gosh.
All right, dad
And you
joke
see what I
starting it
get to
right
work
now.
with everybody. So, Chris
Well,
Skilling
I
said they had an amazing time at the rooftop landing, and we did too. You know, Scott and Dave and Dan, they were great hosts. I mean, they really
oh,
took care of us.
phenomenal.
Oh my goodness! And again, we'll be
If you're
going back
ever in
next year.
Michigan, yeah, in Michigan, close to Clare, that's Clare without an I, and please stop at the Rooftop Landing Reindeer Farm. Tell them the Kringle brothers sent you, and
Yep, just a
you'll
little
have a
north of
wonderful time.
Mount Pleasant, maybe about 20 minutes away from a casino, so you can make it a wonderful day.
Yes, if you win, no,
If you win, it's even better. Because
yeah.
how much did
Uh,
they say a baby reindeer was?
Oh, let's not go there. It's more than I can afford.
Well,
You could
not
buy
if
a
you go to
couple
the
good
casino.
cars. You could buy a
You could go
couple
to the
good cars. Yeah,
you could go to the casino and you could come home with a baby reindeer.
that would be really cool. That'd
But
be cool.
we have so
It's a
many
nice
wonderful things.
topic. We're not going to change it till let's get jumping on the
Well,
topic.
that's all right. We could talk about today's topic, and based upon our show last week, where we were kind of doing a little freestyle, people wanted to know what are some of the props that we keep in our Santa bags.
So, so I love the bag. Now, what kind of when you go into a home visit or when you go on stage at the Great Wolf Lodge or wherever you go, what kind of bag do you have?
Well, for me, it all depends on the actual gig itself. I have multiple bags to choose from. I have I believe mine's like a husky red and white bag,
Hmm.
a red and black bag. That I have multiple ones. I got one that the handle comes up on that you could bring in if you're bringing out the big guns. Then I have one that looks like just like a little, like a tough sided little tool bag type thing. And then last year, I found what do you call them? A paramedic or a nurse bag?
Yeah, I love
And
that bag. Yeah, the
and
paramedic bag.
it was soft sided. It made a lot. It had enough room and everything. And I picked that one up on Amazon. I think it was what, $20. Maybe now with the tariffs it could be more, but
So do you take all three bags with you full of
oh
stuff?
no, no,
Or-
no. Usually I leave like the tool bag one at the Great Wolf Lodge because it's the one of the largest ones I have,
Okay.
and I have predefined props that I use just at the Great Wolf Lodge to go with whatever theme of the show I'm doing.
Okay. Yeah, I
If
have
I'm yeah, go on.
No, I think I have the same bag. I have that 18-inch
Right.
bag on wheels.
Hmm.
Oh my gosh, having a bag on wheels, pulling it up like I'm going to the airport kind of thing. It has saves my back so much. And not only that, when the handle's up, the other stuff that I have that I want to carry in, because I'll go in usually with home visits, I go in with one bag.
Right.
With the Great Wolf Lodge or show, I go in with two bags. You
But
know,
don't you also use a special item at Great Wolf Lodge? Don't you have a
I have a
Showtime
Showtime
table too?
table. A Showtime table. Yeah.
That Showtime table is amazing. Should go ahead and explain about that because that's
Well,
one prop that you use a lot.
it's just one of those. It's the center focus. Okay. In other words, it's the same what a magician would have. You know how you see a table with a magician and they put things under the table and they put things up on the table. So I have a wrap that Lee Andrews, showed me where to get the wrap off the top of my head. I forget the name of the company, but I have a wrap that I put around it, Santa's toolbox, and and then so all of my main props and things that I'm doing for story are inside of the Showtime table, right? That I can pull up and then I put it on top. So in other words, when you've told the stories, about Orville or Jinx, they're always sitting on the Showtime table.
Right.
So they come up in there, all of that kind of stuff. So but I have that. Then I use the 18-inch Husky bag, and
Hmm.
I know that Harbor Freight has one just like it. It's a
Yes.
little bit different, but it's red and black. And then what I've done on mine is I've taken patches, or had a patch made, and I glued them on and cover up, Husky. And so I put, Santa's North Pole bag or whatever patch that you would want. I just cover it up so it's more Santa-ish.
So
Is
you
that it's Santa-like? What kind of? I'm making up words now, I guess, but
Santa-esque.
esque,
Santa-esque.
esque.
But so basically, you come up with different patches to personalize the bag. What some of the patches say?
Um, what did I have? One was Emos. I
Right.
have an Emos one that Roger Mitten made us, a leather one. Elf made objects for Santa,
Hmm.
right? And then I have one North Pole Supply Company.
Okay.
That one, a lady in our town who does the embroidery work and makes patches and stuff for the sports team. I asked her if she'd make that for me, and she did. And so yeah, that one I really like, that North Pole one. Um, yeah.
So, Michael, I got a question now. Why is props so important to you? I mean, we could sit here and we know it's all about the children, it's all about the spirit that we feel.
Uh,
But why should a Christmas performer even have any props at all?
well, I think, yeah. In other words, this is one of those. I'll let me start this whole thing. Um, and this is like the cart before the horse or the chicken before the egg kind of thing. I
It still battles my mind. I mean, if you have a chicken and you have an egg, how does the egg get laid if the chicken comes first? But you can't have a chicken without. Yeah.
I might just go chicken banana.
Banana. Chicken.
Yeah, all right, never mind. You just that went through my head when you started talking about that. You know what I mean? But it's one of those. I need to be able to tell my story or whatever I'm talking about. If I'm talking about, the reindeer, or if I'm talking about what's going on at the North Pole, or something crazy the elves have done, or something that Mrs. Claus and that I've done, and I'm just talking with the kids about the North Pole environment, I should be able to communicate that and create a magical environment just me, right?
Hmm.
But then what happens is then once I bring in the prop, it helps to engage that imagination, and some of the stuff that I'll show a little bit later on as if we get closer to that, but it engages that imagination and it calls the child into something deeper, especially if I grab it and I'm just going, oh, there it is. And then I'm playing off of it, so then now I'm bringing them in and causing that environment. It makes your stories more interactive. And I don't know about you, but I'm a very kinesthetic learner, auditory. And so, in other words, I need to touch it, and
Hmm.
and I need to hear about the story. Now, one of the things that's amazing, I'll say this: auditory um, learners don't learn from hearing. I know that seems weird, doesn't it?
That is crazy.
So, in other words, if I you heard me say something, you may know it a little bit, but you're not really going to learn it until, guess what? You say it. If you're an auditory learner, once you start to talk about the story, once you start to talk about, how an engine is made, or how to change the oil, or how to paint a gazebo, or whatever you're doing, it's when auditory learners, when they talk. So getting the child engaged into it, them talking about and adding to that story that you're telling, that's when it really solidifies for them and comes together, you know. um, so that's more of the interactive, so it makes it so much more interactive by having that prop. What is this? What do you think it is? Asking good questions with it. I think a good question in a story is almost better than the answer sometimes, you
So
know.
you believe so if I'm understanding you is you believe that the props help promote believability
Yep.
because rather than just talking about an item or demonstrating something just verbally, to be able to have a prototype or something from the reindeer more or less enforces what you're trying to say because
Hmm.
the item you're speaking about really exists.
Well, and how many times I've had, multiple times, kids before the show or before I went through a routine, are you the real Santa?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of trying to come back right then, I'll say, I tell you what, let me finish story time, and I'll let you make that decision on your own, because I believe in you, and I leave it hanging. So never really answer it, never come back. I leave it hanging. And the majority of times, that same kid will come back to me after a show, or after I do something that's magical or with props, and they go, oh, you are the real Santa, you know?
That's the amazing feel that I like try to obtain every time I go do a show or do a visit or even if it's a photo opportunity. I just want the client, the children to leave thinking this might be the real Santa.
Yeah. Don't you love that?
It's one of the best feelings in the world. I mean, once you actually get that a couple times, no wonder this becomes like you just want to keep doing this all year round because it's amazing how much
So what
you're
did you say that
able.
causes believability? That was one of
Yes,
your things?
I build believability is what I was going for.
Yeah. That's
But
awesome.
again, you also bring up another good point too with the props. When you actually are holding up, especially one of the props that I enjoy using, maybe we'll show it to you at another time, is my fairy dust bottles.
Yep.
And when it's kind of like very dimly lit, and you open that box and you just see the light fill each one of those jars, you can literally hear the gasp come across the client's faces or the children go,
Yeah,
wow.
don't you love that? What does Stephen Gill call, you can suck up air? I
Yeah,
mean, how does he say that?
yeah, yeah, exactly. But you know what? Also, when you have a good prop like that, it also makes for really good pictures.
Oh yeah. In other
I
words,
know.
that's another good thing with the props, because now you got a still, holding a globe, and then when you have the photographer can add magic to it, which is awesome. And I will say this to kids in the photo session where I'm holding up, and I'll take my hand out here and go, can you make a wow face for me? There it goes. Oh, did you see it? I get all excited there, and I said, did you
Yeah.
see it? And they look at me, and I said, well, I tell you what, the camera, that Stephanie has, it's a special camera. And I bet you when you get that picture back, you'll be able to see the stardust or the magic or
Oh,
whatever. She goes, I said, but it was so quick, you probably didn't see it with your eye. So now
yeah.
I'm setting up them getting their picture back by, coming with that prop going, oh, I did see it.
And that's the amazing part. I mean, when you work with a photographer that really knows their stuff, It's a great feeling when you actually get the pictures back and you have the props being intertwined, whether it be a fake cookie for a cookie and milk picture, or like you displayed with the globe and sprinkling a little bit of fairy dust over the top of it,
Yeah.
or even working with someone else. I mean, Steffi, it seems to be the Kringle brothers photographer. She has gotten a lot of good pictures of us both, and they are amazing when you see them. I know a lot of you actually saw the gorilla picture of Michael and I. That's what we'd look like in Planet of the Apes.
Steffi goes on the post. She goes, "I like the original better." Well, of course, you're the one who took that. It was
Exactly.
AI kind of fun. Everyone was doing babies. I thought I got to do something other than babies. So,
But it's kind of fun. So always check out our Facebook page, and you too can see the gorilla picture of the Kringle brothers. But you
all
know
right,
what, Michael?
back to props.
Why don't we go ahead and run today's dad joke instead of waiting last week? We waited to the very end of the show. So why don't we go out because we have a wonder one. We have a wonder one. Whoa, that's really bad talking today. Uh,
Wonder. Be
It's
fun.
we have a
All right,
wonderful mom joke from Mrs. Claus Sue. So
all
let's
right.
run that one.
Well, hello there. It's Mrs. Claus. And I sent Santa to the store today and he remembered everything that I asked him to pick up. He made a list and he checked it twice.
You know, that joke is kind of like fungus. It just grows on you and keeps getting funnier every time I hear it.
Oh, I know. I want to bust a song. He's checking in this. He's checking it twice. He's
Twice.
gonna
Gonna
find out
find
who's
out
naughty
who's
or
not. All right.
nice. All right.
You can sing better than me. Well, you know what, Michael? We've talked about a lot about props right now. I want to ask you, what is one of your favorite props? Because
Okay.
what? But before we go into that, what do you look for in a prop?
It all depends. I mean, I'm always making them. I'm always, I mean, I'm constantly going to Goodwill and different places, Love Inc. in our area, and looking at used stuff. In other words, trying to look at things with Santa eyes constantly.
Hmm.
And so a lot of times some of my props come to me, or the idea of the prop come from a question that I get from a child.
Okay.
There were so they asked something and it's like, oh, I don't have anything to show with that. Like I had a child, and I'll show this one real quick, and I'm adding to it this year, so I can't give you a story with all of it, but I can give you a story with this. So I got a red wallet because I had a child ask me, said, "Well, Santa, you know, how do you pay for things when you're out traveling?"
That makes sense.
I mean, that's a great question. I'm not so I literally then got a wallet, right? And then who was it? I think Wade at Santa's Closet. They have these credit cards,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I've got from the Kringle Bank here. I've got a credit card. Um, you know what I'm saying? So I got one of those and I stuck that in the wallet. And then I just started collecting money from all over the world. It was really,
Oh.
so I've got some yens here. I've got some rubles. I started people that were going all over. I just, you can get them sometimes at Goodwills or different
Hmm.
places. And nothing's, when you get to some of the Mexican money, but I have all of this money, some from Russia. I've got, I've got a fake, this is fun. I've got a fake Confederate,
Oh, okay.
$500 bill fake Confederate.
Who signed
That
that one?
who signed this one? Let's see here. I can't read it. It's signed, but I can't read the name on it. I'm
Oh,
not
that's funny.
all right. And and then this one's for Bob Smith. In other words, I got this and I put that in there, and it used to go over really good, but now it doesn't. It's a $5 bill for uh, for Toys R Us.
Oh, so it's got
So
Jeffrey.
Bob Smith, I want you to know, if you're listening tonight, I love you. And Bob Smith is a toy expert in his is in working with Toys R Us and different people of that nature. But here is my $5 bill I got for a credit for something to spend at the store. I forgot what it was for, but then of course now it's no good. But then it might turn into a collector's item someday or whatever.
It
But
could
I got
be just like.
so I
So,
have all of this money,
see,
right?
that's awesome.
And so when the kid, I don't hate saying kid, when the child asks about money or any of that, if I get caught someplace, I pull out my wallet and then I back to the kinesthetic, back to I hand it to them. And I let them start to go through it, saying, "Oh yeah, oh that's a ruble. Oh yeah, there's from that's from Guatemala, right?
Hmm.
And so, oh, that's from Central America. You know what I mean? So I just start let them look at the money, and it's all real money. But of course, when you look at the exchange and stuff, I didn't hardly pay anything for those bills. But
No.
it's back to that child can touch my wallet. And of course, I have one of my sleigh driver's license. I bought my
Hmm.
sleigh license from Ben Bellhorn, the Ohio Santa. I bought that from him, and that's in here. You know what I mean? So any of those things that are normal life, but what did you call it? Santa-ish, right?
Yeah,
Back to
Santa-esque.
Santa-esque, right? Is in here. Now, one of the things that I'm adding to the wallet this year, so I mean that's how I've used that with kids. One of the things I'm adding to the wallet this year is my passport. Now,
Hmm.
I found this passport on Etsy and emailed the lady on Etsy, said, "Hey, I love this passport because it's stamps from all over the world. It's got a visa in there from the United States. And I mean, it's just really well done. It looks like a real passport kind of thing, right? But the Santa on it." So I called her. I said, "Hey, can I get my picture on there?" And she said, "Oh, it would cost so much more money. I can't do that." And I said, "Oh, bummer." And then 2 days later, I went, "I'm good enough to fix it." So I did it. So I bought one. And then, of course, then I turned around and bought one for you too. But, and so then all I did was then I took my picture, printed it out, trimmed it to the size of the spot where they had it, put a small piece of tape there, put it there. And then I have a laminator and I just relaminated the page.
See.
Same way with the visa from the United States.
Hmm.
So I just put my and then relaminated that page, and it looks so good. So I can't wait for a child to talk about traveling. And so I thought, when we do our stories of how does Santa get around the globe,
Hmm.
like, so for me, I like Stephen Gillam's, so I adapt a lot of stuff from Stephen Gillam. Well, the very first place that I visit, is Achu Island. Oh, it's a wonderful place. And that's where I start, and I said, "Can you say Achu?" And they say Achu. And I go, "God bless you." So do that little bit of joke. And then I say, well, the last place that I deliver gifts to is Christmas Island. You have Google, right? You can look these places up. So I take that little bit of truth, and then say, well, look it up on the internet,
Hmm.
to make it validity. And then one of the things that I always do is like, and on Christmas Island, there's a little lady there. Her name is Mrs. Smith. She waits for me every year. Mrs. Claus comes and meets me, says it's the last place, and we all have breakfast together. And
Oh.
and I go, she makes the best biscuits and gravy. Oh, you'll love it.
Well, I can tell you this: the driver's license actually really came in handy for a visit 2 years ago. My lovely wife Stacy picked one up for me, and I just threw it in my wallet as I was getting ready to go do a school event. And as I was going through the performance, I took a question from my young woman, and she goes, "If you're the real Santa, do you have any type of ID?" And I was like, well, yes, I do. And I went right into my wallet and actually pulled out that driver's license. And again, she was picking her jaw up from the floor because she did not expect me to have anything.
Mm-hmm.
But again, just from having a simple prop, something that you may be able to pick up for, say, $5, maybe $10, can have
Yeah.
such an impact on
Well,
the overall presentation.
it's that prop brings the validity of who you are.
Right.
Right, there were, so, and I, for jokes, when I've checked into hotels in different places and they always ask for an ID, I'll give them the ID that Ben made me and just hand it to him,
Yep.
and then just stand there and wait. and
And
they
I've
look
been
at
with
the
you, and
ID, they look at me, and they look at the ID, and majority of the times they'll hand it back and just go, "Thanks,
thank
Santa."
you. Exactly. It's amazing how what these people. I mean, oh my goodness, it's crazy.
And so
Well, I know.
I have so much fun with that ID Ben made me.
Well, I know for me, one of the simplest props that I love to use, and I get so much out of it, is my D-Light thumb tip. One of these right here.
Ooh. Oh, that's
Ooh,
really bright in there.
it is bright. It's like bang. But the nice thing with this is this can fill in so many gaps in a story. Now, often, people ask, how do the elves help you? And I also use fairies up at the North Pole. So, what I like to do with this little thumb tip is to go ahead and go out into the crowd and look for fairies. And
Ooh.
for me, I love picking on adults.
Oh, you
I,
do?
oh, I do. It's so much fun. I go to a couple of the children, and again, as I walk up to them, I always ask permission. As there's a fairy right behind your ear. Do you mind if I get that fairy for you? And then I go, and when they say yes, I go in, and basically, there it is. Oh, look at that. Oh my goodness. Oh, yes. And then let the fairy go. Well, then I will find like an adult, especially a gentleman with a darker beard, and I will go up and goes, "There's a fairy hiding in your beard. Can I get that for you?" And then he goes, "Of course." And so I go in there and go, "Really? You want to go back? You say it smells. You want to go back?" The fairy says you need to shampoo just a little bit longer and then let that go. But then I cap it all off with one of these where I find the fairy and this is my doctor. So
Your
I'm one of
doctor?
these. It's like,
Oh,
and then it's like, "Oh, yes, doctor." Just like Mary Poppins, perfect in every
every
way.
way. See, I thought
And
you were
that,
gonna. I thought when you threw that in there, you were gonna tell me, "Oh, it's just a light snack."
no, that's eating a fairy. I don't do that. Oh my goodness.
Oh my, too much
All
fun.
right.
So, how else do you use the light?
Well, I mean, when I was doing virtual visits, this was also Flick, the fairy who took care of the nice list.
Oh,
And every
nice.
time I got a child's name that I couldn't pronounce or I mispronounced it, I would blame Flick.
Oh,
And then Flick would have to go and change the record because Flick's not a best speller.
oh, good. Yeah. See,
I,
validity of going. Oh, kids will go. Oh, I'm not a good speller too. Yeah.
I know, and but again though, is it's one of those points is when you actually have fun with the kids like this, or even with the adults, you're not perfect.
No,
Do not allude to the fact that Santa's perfect,
not.
and because
I
again,
love it.
it makes it so much fun. In the words of Steve Gillum, his Santa persona is the befuddled grandfather,
Yeah.
and he's constantly making mistakes or being long southern drawl, but it adds to his mystique when he actually is becoming a Santa Claus. And that's really what we're trying to do is just give you some little ideas about some props that you can actually use to help
See,
your
and I'll,
believability.
you know,
Go on.
yeah, I do that. In other words, I do that befuddling. So let's say I want to do the magic coloring book, and you're going to show that a little bit later, I think. But I'll literally start to dig through that bag, put my back to the audience, so I'm covering it up, and then I'll reach down and I'll literally grab something like this, and I'll go in, "Oh, my train whistle! I thought I lost it!" Right? And I throw it back in the bag,
Hmm.
and I'm going, "Oh, there it is,
Yeah.
the candy cane." Oh, I tell you what, the Portage children left that for me with a cookie, and I thought I lost it, and I was going to share it with Mrs. Claus, and oh, I'm so glad I found it. And that's it. I don't, and then
Right.
I'll move on. So I got that. I got a slide whistle, little wooden toys, and
Well,
I'll just make these noises and different things of that nature, all for no major story, but all to add validity that I have all of these things. And then sometimes what will happen is some of those things will cause interest in the child, and they'll come back later. And now I have a gateway into talking to them about trains.
right. And that's the whole point. What you're doing, and also too, is when you actually are dealing with some of the props, whether it be the little whistle or the toy, slide whistle,
Mhm.
or even if you have a, where's it at?
Candy
Even if
cane.
you have a penny flute,
Oh yeah.
one of those things where it is a, you can have so much fun with something like
You
that.
play that so well.
Oh, thank you. Chris Skillings goes, I like the clear marble that Lee Andrews showed us with bubbles that you
Yes.
can tell children that you can freeze a bubble. Chris, I've done that. It's amazing. It's a lot of fun to do, especially at Great Wolf Lodge. Excuse me, because they sell many bubble guns.
Yes.
So what I actually do is I invite the children to come up to the front with their bubble guns and then just release the bubbles. And then I run through the crowd to basically find the perfect bubble from Mrs. Claus. This way, all you have to do is palm the clear ball rather than trying to hold the bubbles, use the wand, blow the bubbles with the clear orb in my hand, and go from there. So there's a lot of different ways. And again,
I
always
like that
remember
one.
this. Always remember this, my fine friends, that the things that we're showing you, Santa Michael and myself, this is how we use these items. You can let your imagination soar and come up with your own ways to use these items.
Yeah.
We're just telling you what are some of the few items that we have in our bags
It's
that
just
can lead
suggestion.
into longer and longer stories. So,
Parlay.
Michael, why don't we
We'll
take
call
this
it
time right
parlay
now
item.
and run our contributors? Um,
Sounds good.
let's
All
hear
right.
from Larry Talbert in Insurance and Kringle Tracker.
Here we go.
Are you going crazy managing clients, contracts, and invoices? Kringle Tracker is here to help you. Stay organized with ease. Keep your sanity in check with Kringle Tracker's intuitive tools to effectively manage your schedule and clients. Our seamless, customizable contract system allows you to tailor your contracts to you and your clients' needs. Prepare for tax time like a pro by tracking your income and expenses and generate reports to make it a breeze. Transform your Claus business by signing up for a free 20-day trial. Kringle Tracker was created by a Claus for the Claus community so you can focus on making magical memories for your clients. Head over to kringletracker.com and sign up for your free trial today.
Bob asked for a
So,
ho, 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 ho. There you
well,
go,
yes,
Bob. A ho,
he
ho, ho
was.
for you.
Yes, and when it's like, well, Bob is actually really talking about something that not all props have to be a physical
Well,
item.
he said Merry Christmas. I think he was
Right.
doing it from school.
It was. He was doing a call, and that's what I was getting to here is, you know, the props don't have to really be items. They're great if they are, but your shtick could actually work. And call and response, what we're referring to is, if you actually look in the chat, one of the things that we learned at school for Santas was call and response. Give me a ho.
Ho,
Give me a ho ho.
ho, ho,
Give me a ho ho ho.
ho, ho, ho.
What does that mean?
Merry Christmas.
And this is something that you can do when you making an entrance into someone's home, onto the set, or you just want to get the excitement going on. Other type of call and responses that you can learn from Santa True and the Christmas Performer Workshop is when I say Santa, you say Claus. Santa,
Claus.
Claus. Santa Claus. When I
Oh,
say milk, you say cookies. And these are ways that you can actually engage your
audience, yeah.
your audience into staying with you. But now, Michael, I want to
Well,
hear
give me
about your
another prop.
second.
Let me see one.
Oh, you want
Show
the
something.
one that we are going to talk about too is I got to make sure I do this right because it'd be really silly if I didn't. Was the magic coloring book.
I love
Now
Magic
many of
Coloring Book.
now many of you seen it. Some of you know that Larry Talbert actually sells a version of this prop, but it's for the "Twas the Night Before Christmas." Now, what I like doing with this book is just to give you an idea is when you flip the pages, it's blank.
Nothing.
Nothing. But if you actually wish very hard, you can now actually have pictures, black and white pictures go on.
Ooh.
But if you wish even harder, you can now have colored pictures coming in. Now, this is a great prop, and the way I use this is I always tell the audience that, when you're making that long trip over the oceans, sometimes I get bored, and the reindeer know where they're going. So the elves created for me a magic coloring book. And what makes this so much fun is I can color the entire ride over the water. Now, would you want to see my coloring book? And as I flip through it and the pages are blank, I'm like, well, that's no fun. What happens to my pages? Then what I started doing is I invite a young person from the audience and they draw on the cover. And as they draw on the cover, their pictures now become
Reality.
on the pages. Then, after that's done, I ask the kids in the audience as to whether or not they would like to help me color. And what I do is I have them think of their favorite colors and throw it at the book. And I try to capture them all with the book. And of course, I tell them make sure they aim for the book and not me, because Mrs. Claus does not like doing my laundry. And once they get that all done, then I can show them that their wonderful pages are now colored. Then I go into saying, okay, what do we do when we're done playing with all our toys?
We put
It's
them
time
all
to put
away.
them away. Now I ask, okay, children, how many of you put your toys away when you're done playing? And everybody's hand will shoot up. And I was like, all right, moms and dads, take a note. Because if they don't, you can let me know, and we'll give them some serious talk. We'll give them some serious concentration on whether or not they should be on the naughty or nice list. And then I have them all pull their colors from the book. And in fact, then I erase the book, and the book goes back to blank.
Nice.
And this way, as you and I have talked in the past, by including your audience into what you're doing, it makes them stay engaged. Other children seem to get excited because they want to go up there with Santa. And they become more engaged.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it so much fun. And it was just simply, if I were to say this story without this prop, people would get bored.
Yeah. And you're one of your best props too. I would say,
Yes.
so like when I do the beef fundling and I pull something out, one of the little things that I brought tonight to show you is Santa's cookie container.
Oh, gosh.
And I get so excited, and when I'm on there, I'm going, oh my gosh, Mrs. Claus made cookies. Do you guys like cookies? And then I get more excited, and I get big and excited. So if I'm getting big and excited, guess what? They're getting
They're
excited
getting big
too.
and excited.
And then I'll go, oh, would you like to see it? Are you sure you want to see it? And play that. And I go, it's not a cookie at all. I think Mrs. Claus wants me to diet. But guess what it is?
It's a dance party.
It's a 30-second dance party button. And I go, well, then we should do it if Mrs. Claus wants us to exercise. And then, so this is a double meaning. I play off of the prop big. Children need to be doing something, late as 5 minutes. You need to have them up and engaging and doing something. They just do better. So I literally will turn this on, put my microphone up.
30-second dance party.
And then we'll dance for 30 seconds, right? And then I go, give yourself applause. You did such a great job. But I get super excited before instead of just pulling out, oh, it's a dance party. I get all excited about the opportunity. And then guess what? They're engaged by my excitement. So you are your own prop also. So don't leave you out of the mix of being a wonderful prop.
And as we said, it's fun to come up with a story and look for the prop, but sometimes the prop that you find can actually introduce a story. And a fun time was, didn't you go to the thrift store and find one of those plastic guns that shoot sparks and you fixed it?
Oh yeah, I've got it down here someplace.
And the
Battery.
fun part of,
I haven't tested batteries on these puppies in a long time.
oh yeah,
Batteries are dead. Dead. Always keep a double A battery in your bag, which is the truth.
or at
I
least
do
keep it
that.
rechargeable. But the point was, is you created this, and the gun didn't work, so you fixed it and got it working. It was really cool because when you pulled the trigger, it shot out sparks. Well, you and I sat down, and within what 20-30 minutes, it became a cold spark welding device to use up in the sleigh to fix toys that get broken on transit.
Yep, high altitude.
But again, but it's no different than your ultimate prop, and that is the odor
Oh, the roo.
obliterator.
I
The
wasn't
Roo.
planning on doing the roo. The roo, right? Which is the reindeer odor obliviator. Which fixed cares of, and then that was because the child asked me, Santa, should I give chocolate to the reindeer? And I go, oh no, they toot, right? Which then anytime you talk toots or farts, it brings up a laugh. So um, Santa Joe Granda with his laser cutter helped me make the roux, and now I can fix the stinky problem that's
There
behind
you
Santa
go.
the clothespin. So it's just something real simple. You know, the roux. Yeah,
But from
I didn't realize you
also,
were going to bring that up. I'm glad I
well,
had
no,
it sitting
because
on my desk.
but it's funny though, is because just a child asked a question, you took it back, and the child's question meant so much to you that you created something that could expand upon it. I mean, one of the fun things too that I picked up from Jumbo and also Santa Gordon Bailey was none other than the little squeaker.
Oh yeah,
Something that you can hide in your glove or palm it, and all it does is, but that little item right there will make a child start looking around and start wondering what's going on, or
squeak the
even for the
nose,
sake of a
lift your
photographer,
chin.
this little squeaky noise will draw the child's attention. So even if you don't use this little simple prop, you can hand something like this to the photographer, and it's like, and then
Yeah.
you can get the pictures.
I
So
lose more to the photographer helper that I give it to for taking pictures, and they're like, they didn't give it back to me. So I buy those. You can get those from, I think, Santa Closet. Back to Wade has those. Yeah, but so they're great.
oh yeah, definitely. There's just so many different ideas for props itself. I mean, one of the other items that we kind of talked about was another book, and I like using books, whether it be the night before Christmas, the magic coloring book. But then Tim Conahan showed us this book, the Christmas
Yes,
alphabet. And what's nice about this is it's basically, okay,
alphabet
what's
game, right?
what's it's an alphabet game, so you can literally use this book and go, all right, children, what Christmas item begins with the letter A, and then once they
Angel.
say it, then you can open it up, and then again, angel, or
Yay.
B is bell,
Oh, bells. I didn't think.
and then of course C,
Cake,
candle.
cookies.
Cookies would be better for a Santa, but no, a candle. And this book right here was written by Robert Zabuda, and it's called The Christmas Alphabet. So
And you could turn that into a fun game, I think, for a house party
you
too.
can. Well, sometimes you have to get to a house party and you have all the kids running around and you have to try to like add time in before you just hand out the presents and lose the children for the rest of the evening.
Yeah.
Now, one of the other things that we both have is I don't know what you call them, but they're like pictographs of Christmas carols. And the people have to guess what Christmas carol it is.
Fun.
And that's kind of fun. When I did that at a party last year, and it seemed that the audience really enjoyed that. So now I have another one that I can use, and it gets everybody involved because the parents are sitting back there going, "Hey, wait a minute! I'm smarter than a fifth grader. I
Yeah.
can figure this out," and they're wrong.
Fun. All right. Well, I've got a video. Let me run this as a
All
thank
right.
you. All right. Here we go. Woohoo! We're back.
Woohoo!
Bruce says, Herbie, I need to find where you got that pop up book for alphabets.
You know what, Bruce? I picked that up off of Amazon. Now, granted, I picked up a used copy for about $10. A brand new one is about 40 that I saw. But I
Ooh,
also found out too that there is another one, Christmas themed, which is the 12 Days of Christmas. And I believe he also has another pop-up book for the Twas the Night Before Christmas.
ooh,
And all three of these you can actually find on Amazon itself. Again, that was the Christmas Alphabet by Robert Zabuda.
nice.
Uh-oh. I know what time it is now. It's time for Christmas
Christmas facts.
fact,
All right,
fact.
here's the Christmas facts for tonight. I thought this was pretty good. Did you know that Christmas decorating sends nearly 15,000 people to the ER room every year?
And that doesn't include Santa falling out the sleigh.
No, so like Griswold Christmas, you remember that, right?
Yes.
Remember all the Christmas lights in the roof, and yes. So what I found out that let's see here, the Consumers Product Safety Commissioner, most recent news released estimated that 14,700 people visit the hospital emergency room each November and December for holiday-related decorating accidents,
What do you
which is
think is
about
the most
240 per day.
What do you think is the most common accidents that people get at Christmas?
Well, they said the most common accident involves falling, lacerations, or back strains.
See, in my life, it would be basically getting cold cocked from my spouse, basically not putting something where it needs to go to in the right place.
Oh, I don't think Stacy would do that to you. Cold cock you. I can't see her cold cocking anybody. She's so kind and tender.
She is wonderful, but when it comes to decorating, she has a image in her. She wants to volunteer to go decorate at the White House.
Oh, oh,
So maybe
that would
she
be a
needs to
lot.
realize what this Christmas fact is, that so many people get hurt. So
That's true. Guess
it
what?
could be a lot of fun.
Since its founding in 2004, Santa's Closet has been committed to providing unique, high-quality accessories for Santa, Mrs. Claus, and the entire Claus community. Our mission is to deliver exceptional customer service and outstanding value, offering competitive pricing and a wide selection of products designed to enrich the Claus experience.
You know what that video means, right?
That means it's trivia time.
That's right. All right. So, just as a reminder on the trivia, if you have won in the 65 days, you're in a little timeout. We can't ship to anywhere overseas. It has to be in the United States only.
That also
But,
includes Canada and Mexico. We cannot ship to either one of those.
but if you have a U.S. address that we can ship it to, then we'd be more than happy to do that. It just has to be U.S.
It just has to be in us.
All right. So, are you ready, Herbie, for the question tonight?
I am ready as my
All right,
job.
you keep a close eye on the comment board. So the first one that
I
popped in. All
I
right,
got it.
all right, and here we go. In other words, what town in Georgia has street names Candy Cane Road, December Drive, Rudolph Way, Dancer Street, and Prancer Street? So, what town in Georgia Georgia. Right?
Now,
Awesome.
if you didn't say Georgia, I would have said San Francisco.
No, San Francisco, they don't have a town in Georgia. I don't think they do, but that's not
No,
the answer.
if you didn't tell me what town in Georgia, and you just asked what city had streets named Candy Cane Road, December Drive, Rudolph Way, Dancer Street, or Prancer Street, I would have said San Francisco.
Oh, San Francisco.
Right.
Interesting.
Now let's see. We have nobody coming in, so that must
No,
be everybody's
so is
on.
this a good question then tonight?
I
What
it might be a
town?
good question, or people are googling.
I hope they're Googling, hope they're finding it. What town in Georgia has streets named Candy Cane Road, December Drive, Rudolph Way, Dancer Street, Prancer Street? I can give you a hint. The
No, we don't get
population of this town is 202.
202 people.
Well, according to what was the census was in 23, I think. So a
Oh
census of
well,
23. So there may be more now or maybe
yeah,
less.
they could have had a population boom. They could have had triplets born.
Just triplets would take it up. So 202 people. Wow, no guesses tonight.
No guesses. I think everybody must be recovering from Jingle Joy.
It is this. I think we're probably a little bit subdued too. I mean, I came home from the Jingle Joy retreat and I immediately jumped right in to do, task around the house. So I got the gazebo, washed and cleaned and then restained. It's looking beautiful.
Oh, we have
Ah,
Troy.
Troy! Yay! Ding, ding, ding!
Way to go,
Yes,
Troy.
awesome. So, what town in Georgia? But all those names, Santa Claus, Georgia. I thought that was so fun when I found that.
That was fun.
Wouldn't it be fun to live in Santa Claus, Georgia?
That would be kind of fun to live in Santa Claus, Georgia. All right, Troy, if you email us your name, your address, and your shirt size to kringlebrothers2 at gmail.com, we'll forward that to Santa's Closet, and you'll receive something wonderful from Wade and Scarlett and Santa's Closet.
That's
Again, you can
for
email us up at
watching. Yeah,
kringlebrothers2 at gmail.com. Way to go, Troy. That was wonderful of you.
that's great. Yay! Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Yeah, Bob Zelensky came back with lions or Léon if you're going French.
Leon.
Léon.
Oh, merci.
Merci beaucoup. Or have as I had in one gentleman in the service I served, mercy buck ups.
See, now my wife's a French major. She studied in Avignon, and
Hmm.
and she's so good with language. So she's taught me all the important things to say, like "Je t'aime avec tout mon cœur," I love you with all my heart. Plus que les bonbons, more than candy. Plus que au café au lait, more than coffee. I mean, all the important things to say to her, right?
All the wonderful things that you need to know.
Too much fun.
See, that's what it was being in the Navy as long as I was. I mean, I spent almost a month and a half in France alone, and I found out that the more acclimated I am to an area, the better I pick up accents and languages.
Now, I do have a thought, and as our time's coming to an end, I mean, I have more props here, that I wanted to show or to talk about. I mean, I love props, but I was thinking it'd be really cool that if you're watching or even if you're listening to the recording or watching the recording, that if you have a prop that you would like to explain, share the story with it. This is the prop. Share the story with it, and then how you've used it. If you would like to come on, we'd like to know. So I should probably bring up that email address back again. So email us at kringlebrothers2 at gmail.com and say, let's say, so it's Santa Bob, Bob, I'd love to do that. Let us know and we'll try to get it all worked out. And then you can come and join us because this is a show that I'd like to do multiple times,
Right.
just because, just showing a couple props isn't going to cut it as we learn from each other. And I thought, oh, that would be great to have different people on just to demonstrate different props and talk how they use it and give us everyone else some ideas. Yeah.
Somebody said that there was a bunch of answers on Facebook, and usually everything comes through on Facebook. So I was just going. What I was also going to say
Oh, I
too
wonder how come we
is,
don't. I come it's not. I mean, we're seeing Facebook, but I'm wondering
yeah,
how
we're
come.
seeing Facebook and stuff like that. So Santa Greg, thank you for letting us know. We'll look into it. But we're going basically what came in all over the comment section. So and Santa Troy was actually the first one to come through.
I wonder why. I wonder why they're supposed to show us that. The software says we can see their comments.
Yeah, maybe it's just it could be a delay. It could be anything along those lines. But one thing I was going to say too is if you don't feel comfortable about coming on board the show to actually show your prop or to explain it or to tell the story with the prop, you can always video yourself and send
Oh,
us
that's
the
a good idea
video.
too.
And then this way too is we can even run the video for it. Like you said, we are going to run a few more shows about props in our bags, and it's always kind of fun to do that. And also to Bob Zielinski, we will make sure to tell you where we buy the props. For instance, the Delate Thumb, very simple prop. Spangle sells them as stuff for Santa. Various places sell the prop itself. The Magic Coloring Book, I picked mine up from Amazon.
Yeah. And then like
And
the wooden toys, the whistle and all of that, I just
mhm,
picked up at our local toy shop. In other words, a lot of
right.
toy shops. So, Bob, I know you're in the Traverse City area. I know that if you ever get down a little bit closer, I got these all in the Toy Town in Cadillac, Michigan. They have
Hmm?
tons of great toys, interaction stuff, along with the dance party button. If you go to danceparty.com, you can pick up different type of dance parties, but they have a Christmas version, and that's the one that I use at danceparty.com.
I just picked up a train whistle at the reindeer farm.
Yeah, those little wooden toys. They're all over the place, and so as you
Hmm.
see stuff, you just pick it up and you throw it in the bag.
That's
Just
right.
keep building your
I,
bags of tricks.
I'm just checking on Facebook here to see if we didn't miss anybody here. Yeah, a lot of comments are not coming through this evening, Michael.
Oh,
There's like 109 comments coming through on Facebook,
oh my
and
gosh!
we're not seeing any of them because so far it only looks like there's 21 people. And there are tons of other items coming in on Facebook. So we do
All right.
apologize.
Well, I definitely will check our software and make sure if there's any updates I have to do on it. But yeah,
Right, I mean, because just looking at this right now here, real quickly, Brian Stapleton's on with us, and yeah, some people are just switching to YouTube, so we might just have to look at this. Maybe when we were playing last week with it, we were we maybe hit a switch or something that we didn't do. But Brian, like I said, I picked up the coloring book at Amazon.com. If you want the "Twas the Night Before Christmas" one, I do know Spangle sells that as well, as long as Larry Talbert at Pro Santa Magic, I believe it is. Unfortunately, I can't see any other ones on there as well.
interesting. All right,
So again, I will go through there and see whether or not what we can do. And again, I apologize if we did miss you or anything like that. Because why? We love each and every one of you, and we
we're
want to make
thankful
sure
for
that
you. Yeah, we are.
exactly. Well, next week's show. Yeah, I was never saw any comments on Facebook and had to switch over to YouTube. So we might just
Right.
thank you, Troy. We just might have to check our Facebook set here. But just to let you know, next week's show is going to be none other than with Santa Roger Mitten, the CEO and creator of Kringle Tracker.
Yes, it'll be a great show. In other words, all of the business side of being a Santa, this software is amazing. It has made my life so much easier on the business side. I can't wait for you guys to see it.
And we don't want to go too much into it because we want you to come back.
No, and so we've got some thanks. In other words, once again, we just would like to thank all of the TNL Production Network people. Bob and Scott and Spangle and Angela, all of them. We're very very thankful for you and the opportunity to come and share in the community.
And also to our contributors, Larry Talbert, Roger Minton, Wade and Scarlett, Kaboots. You guys are awesome.
So if you need anything special, a lot of the toy stuff, I know that Santa's Closet has it. It's a great place.
It is. And so,
And,
Michael, now
and our
go on.
lovelies. We can't
Yes, we
leave
cannot.
all of the lists. We cannot leave our lovelies out because you know what? It's true. They are the better half.
Exactly. I wouldn't know what to do myself if I didn't have my lovely wife. So, but with that, Michael,
In other
your
words,
closing statement.
well, did you get the new sheet? You
Yes,
don't have
I
the.
did.
Oh, all
Yes,
of a
I
sudden I
did.
forgot to ask you. I didn't want to do the new one. I wrote a new close. I thought was
I
really
know.
great,
So go
but I
ahead
didn't.
and say it, my friend.
But all of a sudden, if I got halfway in, it was like, it's your turn. So, until we meet again, may your days be jolly, your hearts be light, and your kindness shine bright.
May the spirit of Christmas live in you every day of the year. Remember to be good, spread joy, and always believe.
Thanks,
Merry Christmas.
everybody. Merry
They forgot the Merry
Christmas,
Christmas to
everybody.
all and to all
To
a good
all a
night.
good night. I'm still laughing. All right, I'll run the video. Hey, we're back. There's
Hey!
still people watching. I can't believe it.
There is always people watching. I'm still trying to basically figure out what's going on with this other part here.
I am. Oh, I had a dad joke I wanted to say so bad I should have wrote it down.
Well, that's okay. I know your dad jokes. That's what scares me.
You know, I wrote down the alpaca thing and I wrote down the 25 letters. I don't know why.
Oh,
All right.
too funny. Too
All right.
funny. Well, everyone, a llama, a reindeer, and a sloth walk into a bar. What do they all have in common?
They all watched the Kringle brothers on Kringle Time. Night, everybody.
Good night, everyone. See you next week.